Alright guys, so here's our problem for today that we're going to go over. Mr. Anderson filled water balloons to start a water balloon fight. He went to the top of the school and stood on the 25-foot tall roof and threw the balloons downward with a velocity of 20 feet per second. How long will it take to hit a 5-foot tall student? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to use the feet formula, and that is okay, so it is FH of t equals negative 16 t squared plus the initial velocity times t plus your initial height. Okay, so our initial velocity is downward at 20, so you need to make sure that you use negative 20. And then also you need to make sure that you write down your height, which is 25 feet. Okay, so this guy, we are not going to be touching the ground. So here, let's draw a tiny little picture first. So here's the school. Here's Mr. Anderson. He's got a water balloon in his hand. It's got like water. And then it says, I win. Got to make it accurate. Okay, so there's Mr. Anderson, and there's this cute little kid walking out of the school. Yay, I just did school. Okay, and then he's going to throw the ball at the kid. So he is 5 feet tall, and the school building is 25 feet tall. Okay, so we have to take into account this 5 feet tall in the very end. So we're going to plug in our information. We have negative 16 t squared plus negative 20 t. You don't need the plus negative. And then plus 25 for the initial height. And normally we're set it equal to 0 because the balloon would hit the ground, but this time it's hitting a 5-foot tall kid, so you put the 5 there. I want to know the total time, so at the end of the arc, basically, that it takes to get there. So that means that I need to set this equal to 0 and not have this equaling 5. So I'm going to subtract my 5 from each side because we can't use our quadratic equation without having our whole equation equal to 0. And then we plug it in. So x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, and then we need our calculator. So we're going to do the square root first. So we have the square root of negative 20 squared, negative 20 squared. Oops, heavens, too many squareds. Okay, minus 4 times negative 16 times 20. So we get 20 plus or minus 40.99 all over negative 32. So we have two options. We can have 20 plus 40.99 all over negative 32, or we can have 20 minus 40.99 all over negative 32. Well, here's the thing. We can't have a negative distance, so we need a negative on top to cancel out our negative on the bottom. So if we use this guy, we will get a positive number. So we'll have a positive divided by a negative, which will give us a negative. But if we use this, we'll have negative divided by a negative, which will give us a positive. So we want to use this bottom one, not this guy. Okay? So we have 20 minus 40.99 divided by negative 32, and we get 0.66 seconds. That's how long it takes the balloon to leave Mr. Anderson's hand, thrown downward at a velocity of negative 20 feet per second, and hit a 5-foot child. So the only difference between this and the other ones is that we are not touching the ground. We're hitting a 5-foot tall kid or any object at 5 feet. Like, it's not going to the ground, so this is how you have to do it. You set it equal to the height that it's supposed to touch at the end, and then you move this guy over and make it a 0, plug it in your quadratic equation. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Bye!